What's good, TV besties? Welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. I'm your girl Ash. Consider me your TV bestie. You know, the one you call, talk to, catch up with about some of your favorite shows, episodes, all that little good little stuff. So, as you can see in the title, Marriage at First Sight. This is like episode 18. What's our safe word? What's our safe word was basically all about, what's our safe, what's our safe word? Yes. What's I say for it was all about basically how remember how Nicole had basically set up a safe word, which was pineapples for Chris, in the event that she gets, we know how Nicole can be. She can kind of just like go a little bit overboard with things, just go rah, rah, rah in her head sometimes. And so that word was just put in place to kind of just be like, hey, look, you're doing a lot, you're being a lot, let's level it down, bring it down some. And she was just talking about, they were just talking about the fact that Chris has not had to use, the safe word. And he was basically feeling like, hey, we don't need to, I feel like we don't even need to have that safe word. I feel like where we are, I feel like just looking at you a certain way, or just like really like he's been handling Nicole just fine. He can handle Nicole just fine. Like, he's like, we good. We need to just kind of like denounce pineapples. Like, not actual pineapples, but really just a pineapple safe word. So, I mean, let's be honest. Like, they're in a great space, the best space, and compared to some of the other, couples. All in all, really, I think the issue is just this whole, right now, they're in this thing of living together or not living together after decision day. And obviously nobody thinks, obviously besides Chris maybe, but Nicole got her dad's backing and saying like, and not that even she needed the backing, like them not living together is completely going backwards. That's not going to be great for the marriage, especially where they are in their marriage. It's still new, it's still fresh. It's not really a good idea right now. And so she feels like that he's just so chill and nonchalant about it, and she's over here like stressing about it. Like basically they're saying basically I guess it's going to get done, but it hasn't gotten done yet. And I think I can kind of, I can completely understand like where Nicole's coming from. Like, because like I said, it's not a good idea to, we need to figure out something. And I get, especially with the fact that y'all have, I guess I don't want to call them disadvantages, but hurdles that y'all might just have to go through. They have 3 dogs, so it's given like y'all can't live in no apartment, y'all need a house. And depending on how the market looks, just depending on the area that they probably want to be in, that can take time. It's, and I'm not even saying the market, I mean just like even like in real estate buying something, I'm just saying in market even just for renting or whatnot, like it's just crazy out here in these streets. If you know, you know. So we, that ain't nothing really to spend too much time on. Ultimately, I don't know, I feel like we keep seeing like weird little stuff in regards to like commercial, like previews for the next, or trailers for the next episode. And I ultimately, I don't see they stand together on decision day. I don't see, yes, there may be things or whatever that might necessarily not be cleared up or whatever, but are you worried? Because I'm not worried. Because I'm not worried about where they're going or where they're going to be at on decision day. Now, I was about to say Gina and Clint, but you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and just save them for last. Because I don't, I'm so cool. Okay. Because we got some things to talk about. Let's talk about Jasmine and Eris. Because, okay. All right, y'all. Like, I wish things like, all right, so boom, they had got that, they had got that little like intimacy, setting the tone of like intimacy basket, feathers, massagers, handcuffs, like things like that. And I'm just like, let's get a little naked with this. Like, what's up with all the clothes? Like, give him that massage with that massager with his shirt off. And then you put that away and you just start using your hands, right? And like, okay, the feathers. Yes, let's tickle the feathers somewhere else on his nips. Like, what? It was okay. All right, they got somewhere that, maybe it just wasn't there yet. And I know that which now makes me think about the fact of how Eris did talk about just the process of everything, and with the whole, not the process of like this process of being married at first sight, but just like the setting, I don't necessarily say the cameras, but like everything is produced. At the end of the day, everything is produced. So they are in kind of like instructed certain conversations, or just like, if you've been watching reality TV, you know by now. And if you don't, then you got to learn. You got to learn about it. Yes, this stuff, it's real, but that's how people like the reality TV is not real. Oh, it's real, but right, it is like produced in effect of a TV show to entertain and to bring people in. If that's making sense, I'm getting off track, but so it made me just wonder, like, maybe he doesn't want to, get that comfortable, go that far. I mean, he's expressed overly that he is a sexual guy. Like, oh no, Jasmine and Gina went went into the pole class or whatever, whatnot. And Eris popped up on a surprise, and I'm like, okay, all right, Eris, like there we go. That's how you do things. That's how you do it. But I figured you would pop up on a pole dancing class. But you know what? At this point, whatever that's gonna draw that something. And if that's what it is, because right, he's a sexual person, and obviously he wants to be intimate with her. It I just remember it was a time when Eris was just really throwing me, and sometimes he still throws me. I was so in so much question of him, and I'm getting on the side where I'm like really like rooting for him, and like, okay, come on, Eris, I see you doing a little bit, and like, all right, like, yes, girl, like, do your dance for your man. I was in here like smiling from ear to ear as they was over there doing that scene, and he was throwing money her way. I was like, you better come on. Y'all better get with it. Y'all better get with it. And it seemed like he did enjoy seeing her, in that type of element. And what I want to know is what made her decide for like them to get a reading. I would really like to know, because it was both of their first experience of a reading. And as a person who does reading herself, got like oracle, tarot decks over there. My sister is very much into that type of work. Well, she used to be like, well, I don't, if you ask for reading, she might be doing reading, but I really think her path is just starting to lead her in a different direction. But she does, even now, just random, I'm not even gonna say like, she's just into all that, and she got into doing readings and things like that of that nature. So she's done a mini reading for me or whatever, whatnot. Like, sometimes we'll be talking and she'll just be like, hey, let me pull cards for you, So it's crazy. So obviously them doing that, I was very much interested and very much wanted to see what they were going to get. And I know, sometimes I think it's getting more open and more, I'll say basically with millennials, and somewhat okay, but I think for some people it's still taboo, it's still considered witchcraft of that nature. And if you realize, like, all she did was, because people are like, oh, well, you tell them information in there. No, the cards just read energy. The cards are energy. It's really literally just energy of where you are. And when they were having their reading with her and talking about Jasmine and her, jumping into something, but, being afraid and, being fear, like, it was hitting, obviously, Jasmine right on, the nose. And it was very interesting to hear, she had them like write outside like their names, and how Aries' first name, just seems so strong or whatever. And but then, it spoke on a lot of things, but as well, it overshadowed basically. What was she basically saying? Like his last name, his middle or just last name, um, didn't seem as like confident or whatever or whatnot, in which for her showed that he was still figuring out like who he is. And if that's the case, that could for in me, in my eyes, like go into the fact of her saying to Jasmine that he's got he still has a lot of growing up to do. Like she basically spoke positive obviously about them both, and positive about the relationship of it actually working, and that they needed to get out of basically their comfort zones or whatever whatnot, basically, and get uncomfortable and get into this, because this could actually work. They to her, they were a match or whatever or whatnot. And I mean, let's be honest here, experts did put them together. So I mean, for me, I'm like, all right, at the end of the day, like I said, it's energy. At the end of the day, I think though that they're both good people. I think they're both good people. Like his great grandmother like came through, that which was like crazy. That was nice. And her just saying how, she wanted him to be settled. It was time for him to be settled. And she, wanted him to have kids, and that she liked Jasmine. She's the first girl, that she's ever liked. So it you would hope it would bring something, or at least some type of insight here, and maybe some type of openness, and with that will open some type of openness and willingness, and to basically get out of others' expectations, get out of other people's eyes. Even just, yes, Jasmine, her talking about how Jasmine has basically lived for everyone, and basically it was time for Jasmine to look out for Jasmine, and to not be everything for everyone, but to be everything, for herself, and live for herself. For like it was a great reading. I enjoyed it. If you're a critic, you can say whatever, which is cool. But I think it was, hey, apparently what was needed. So even though, like I said, I want to know what caused Jasmine to do this, and it makes me wonder, is Keisha not Pulliam, is she having a baby? Because there was no after party. So I'm wondering, like, is there a pause on things because our girl is so close and about to have that baby, or did have the baby? I should have looked that up. I could look that up right now, but I'm not. Let's it just, that obviously, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Y'all know, if you don't know, I'm a hopeless romantic. So that really just gives me a little bit more hope for them, and at least hope that they will say yes on decision day, because it's so close, y'all. It's so close. So basically, I feel like by next week we could be. It's probably gonna be, no. It's not next week, because next week, no, no, they got a whole bunch of stuff going on next week. Like, who? Yeah, they got some stuff going on next week, and I was like, what in the world? And something, when I seen that interaction, y'all, something told me, but we can't get into Gina and them yet. We getting into them last. Let's get into Shaquille and Kirsten. And they have really been worrying about decision day and their connection, their communication, the issues that they're having. And honestly, it's not even like, I think I was like low key like coming for Kirsten, but it's not even all Kirsten. They're both kind of like unsure about the decision for, decision day. And, also this week was about, them like just going back to family and talking with family about, what's going on, and kind of like just helping them to steer in a direction to help, them to make a decision on decision day. So, she ended up going to her brother or whatnot. And at first I was like, girl, like, what do you really like expect? Like, you want this affection, you want this, you want that, you don't know if he likes you or not. Like, you just started like getting like wanting to be touched and felt, and like just all that kind of things like that. And then really though, at the end of it, when Shaq was so open with her mom about where, actually, because basically Kirsten did end up basically telling him, how she felt, and her feeling like, he's not happy to come home, and where he has a lot on his plate, and the issue of balance, and obviously she knows that the man wants to meet her family, and everybody's schedule is apparently like a big thing, an issue. Get it? Everybody works, you know whatever. Why wouldn't you want to really make time to figure out who this man is that your sister or daughter is spending time with every day? And the dad was never open about it, but it's still like, so you, all right, now it's done. You don't want to know, you don't want to figure out who this man is. And honestly, I don't think Kirsten is really saying, but we know that she is really the one withholding the family somewhat, from him or whatever, whatnot. Even for her to just be like, I want y'all to come over. I want us to spend time together, but it's just gonna be, you and mom. And even him basically saying that, yeah, I know you don't wanna have him meet dad until he's the one. Like, there's this big hesitation about meeting dad. But Eris feels like there is an importance there of meeting dad, because it's gonna help him to understand and how to navigate, the family, as the man of the household with all that he has going on. Because I think that's the thing too. I think he understands it too, is the balance of school, work, and now, married life on his hands. That's a lot. And this is the part where I think, and what I don't think Kirsten really understands, I don't know why I want to keep saying Jasmine, is yes, obviously it's new, you need to, and things like that, but this is kind of where you're going to be needed. You're going to be needed here more. You're going to be given more, just a little bit for a little while, so he can gear through, at least to get through school or whatever or whatnot. That's just what marriage is. Sometimes somebody's going to be having to give a little bit more. It's never going to be 50-50. Somebody's always going to be giving more. It just depending on where the stage are, where you are in the marriage, and just what's going on, what you got going on, what he got going on, just all that stuff. So I was glad that she opened up and told him how she had actually, been feeling or whatever or whatnot, and him, obviously not knowing, but I think it allowed him to go in and start to like see for himself, like, hey, like, what do I have going on? Because when the mom did come over, even though the brothers was come over too, but he had to work. So when the mom did come over, and they were just so open, and in regards to like, what was going on and the issues, and he was saying that, as he was helping take down like her walls, maybe it was causing him to like, or just he started to end up building up walls or whatever. And for a minute I was like, this girl is crazy. But when she's talking about how he'll come in and like this kind of like will barely talk, will kind of like just be standoffish, or things like that. They're showing scenes, they're showing clips of them in their apartment and what she's talking about, and sometimes how they are together, and there's just no intimate, touching, or just things like that. Again, they're just kind of like showing clips of them in their apartment, sitting together, sitting in the same area, but it's nothing. So at first and it had me like, okay, like, yeah, like, clearly, yeah, you have a lot on your plate. Maybe that's beating you down and it's causing you to neglect your wife, but you gotta, if that is what it is, you have to find that you really need to work on that balance. And if it is the whole building like the bricks up after you were trying to build hers down, we need to dig into that too. Like, what is that about? Like, I'm for him to say it, I love the acknowledgement, but I'm like, dang, like, how did that happen? Like, how did we get there? So they're a great couple. So I got hope, y'all. I got hope. Even though I said I won't put no more hope in nobody. Y'all know every episode, they suck me in. They just get me right back in. So, let's get on to these crazies right here. First off, McKinley and Clint have a, little gym session. And they're talking about like where they are, whatever, whatever, whatever. Let's not forget that McKinley had before said how, expressed how he thought that Gina was a great looking girl. And so it's kind of like he enjoyed the fact that they're still not in a good place, because in his interview he's telling the producer that basically, he basically wished that they would have set him, they have more basically stuff in common, and that basically him and her would have basically been a better match than him and than her and Gina. I mean, than, Clint and Gina. um y'all, I told to see in the preview that he hit her up in the DM. I'm just like, bro, what? Like, regardless if it's just like, all right, y'all. When he said that, I was just like, oh, okay, like clearly could have been produced, whatever, whatever, but he had no qualms, and there was never no disrespect, or like what he let it be clear that Gina should have been his girl. Basically, that's the energy that it was given. So, anywho, Gina and Clint, which is kind of like, I might have put some more notes on them about them that I wanted to talk about, but it's like I don't even want to even like get into it, y'all, because for real, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't even write much notes besides the fact that Jenna and Clint gonna have to put Hank in their divorce or visitation, because they definitely getting a divorce. We know that, and so I'm glad that Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper pulled up on them, being that they're the ones that's most struggling. And I'm just, I don't know if I'm over them. I just don't know. I'm just, what's the word? Speechless, because I'm sitting there like, what in the world? Have y'all been playing games all this time? Like, what have y'all been doing? Like, okay, y'all enjoy each other's company. Obviously, can be great friends. He's feeling blindsided. Clint's feeling blindsided because you're saying all these things about him that he feels like is like, which it is given like, what? Why bring all this stuff up now at the end? To make it look like you know and I was really putting it on Gina a whole lot, and now it's like, okay, because Clint was also very outspoken in this, and them not being attracted, them not wanting to that have that desire to be romantic even with each other. Basically, they didn't do the assignments that Dr. Pepper set out for them to watch the movies and things like that. Like, it's given like, go ahead and divorce this couple, like right here, right now. We don't need to get to, decision day. Like, I can't believe next week is not just decision day already. Like, I'm like, but I forgot we do have to, or is that, or do they put that? Oh no, because yes, they put the night before and the day of decision day all in one episode, I do believe. So it's given like, we're next episode is just about to be just some straight drama, just drama. Like, I'm really like, I just felt like it was just straight crap. Like, Dr. Pepper was all like, boom, on marriage day, right? On married day. Oh my God, I forgot to talk about how I loved the mom's advice for Shaq and Kirsten, which was that let that expectations go, like that was everything. That was everything. I wish that was some great advice. If they're gonna use it, we don't know. But okay, fast forward back to Gina and Clint. They're talking about, wedding day, how they were. I was like, wow, like, you were right. They were very handsy with each other, a lot of kissing, all that. And basically, both of them are basically saying, we put on, because it's a wedding and people came from afar. And basically, it was the expectation that that's what they were supposed to do. What? Clint, you are 40. Gina's in her mid, high 30s. What the are y'all talking about? I was like, are y'all really saying this right now? Is this really what y'all saying right now? I'm y'all. When I say I'm so I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. Take me out the oven. It's hot. I'm about to burn. I I just could not believe that Gina wanted to wait till now to talk with. It was just like, this is this man's personality. If you felt like this was a personality that was mismatched towards yours, that's not someone you would want to be with. Why were we in this like this whole time? Why were y'all doing this? Why were y'all trying to act like if you did? Ugh, ugh. Hey, I guess to put in the word to see, I don't know. I can't even say because right now I'm over them, and now it's just like, all right, Gina sliding, what's the name sliding, McKinley sliding in Gina's DMs is now like, okay, this is why you and Dominique kiss. Like y'all. I'm low key like Cupid on the inside because I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Like what I'm confused. Y'all drop me some comments down below. Y'all let me know your thoughts. I'm just completely thrown. I've got to hear what y'all got to say. So let me know your comments down below. I hope if you've made it this far, that you will consider liking the video as well as subscribing to this channel. Let's work on now this 200 by the end of May, because we still working there, and your girl needs your help to get there. I know y'all trying to support the girl as well. Check out my vlog channel. That's down in the description below. And whew, okay, I'll see y'all later.